The return of the firing squad in the U.S., justice or a step back in time. South Carolina is set to carry out the first execution by firing squad in the United States in 15 years, reigniting debates on capital punishment methods and their ethical implications. The execution of Brad Sigmon, 67, convicted of a brutal double homicide, raises pressing questions about the intersection of justice, human rights, and the evolving perception of the death penalty in modern society. Choice between death and torture, Sigmon's decision to opt for the firing squad over lethal injection or the electric chair highlights the grim reality of execution methods. His attorney argued that Sigmon faced an impossible choice, a rapid death by gunfire or a potentially agonizing, drawn-out lethal injection. This dilemma brings to light the controversial nature of execution protocols, with autopsy reports revealing that lethal injections can cause suffocation-like sensations, raising concerns about cruel and unusual punishment. The ethical crossroads. Human rights organizations have long criticized the death penalty, arguing that any form of state-sanctioned execution violates fundamental human rights. The European Union's ban on pharmaceutical sales for lethal injections reflects this stance, placing pressure on the US to reconsider its methods. The return of the firing squad, a method reminiscent of 19th-century practices, further fuels the debate on whether capital punishment belongs in a modern justice system. Public sentiment and psychological impact. Public opinion on the death penalty has shifted in recent years, with growing calls for its abolition. The psychological toll on both the condemned and the executioners remains a largely unspoken consequence of capital punishment. The spectacle of a firing squad execution, with its violent imagery, risks further alienating public sentiment and reigniting moral objections. A global perspective. While the United States continues to grapple with capital punishment, many countries have abandoned the practice entirely. The resurgence of firing squad executions places the U.S. in stark contrast to the global trend toward more humane criminal justice systems. It raises critical questions about the nation's commitment to human rights and its position on the world stage. What lies ahead? Sigmon's execution could mark the beginning of a renewed era of controversial death penalty practices. As legal battles unfold and public outcry grows, the future of capital punishment in the United States remains uncertain. This case serves as a pivotal moment for policymakers, human rights advocates, and the public to reassess the role of the death penalty in a modern society. The question remains, is the return of the firing squad a step toward justice or a regression into a darker chapter of American history?